Hello everybody and welcome to the Figure Fourcast Royal Rumble edition. As always, I am Sammy Drip Drip and I'm joined by my good friend King Damo. How are you?
I am good. Royal Rumble, one of my favourite events, possibly my favourite wrestling event of the year. Might just because it's that time of year, but I definitely feel like I get more excited for it. So I'm well in the mood for wrestling at the moment. We're on the road to WrestleMania. It's the cliche that we really love to say, but it is true. We're
the official beginning of the road now, isn't it? Like we're there, we're ready for the surprises, the returns, who's gonna win. It's all up in the air, especially this year.
Yeah, we've got some strange news to start because we're recording this on Monday. Later tonight, Seth Rollins is going to be making an announcement. He is injured, and that obviously puts a big spanner in the works for WrestleMania plans.
Yeah, because obviously it seemed like the obvious path was CM Punk against Seth Rollins, whether Punk wins a Rumble or not, for the world title. If it means Seth Rollins is injured, that's kind of completely out the window on what happens with Punk.
Yeah, there's the interesting things is does he have enough time to heal up? He's got until the first week of April, so 2 and a bit months at this point. Some people analyse everything that is enough time, some don't.
Depends what he's done. If he's torn his ACL or something.
I think it's something. It has been mentioned what it is online. Off the top of my head, I can't think what it was, but
nothing's been said officially.
It does seem that it's within the realms of possibility to heal up. People have also speculated that he might just fight WrestleMania anyway. Obviously, we saw Cody do a similar thing the other year.
God. Torn ACL is a little bit different to a pec, though, I think. Like,
I don't know, I've never torn either, but both sound horrible to have to compete with.
I imagine it's easier to work around a torn pec than a knee, essentially, that you use for every movement.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. I'm no doctor. It'd be pretty gutting for him, though, if he misses it, because a few years ago, wasn't it, that he missed it, because I think he had the same injury, ACL, so... And it would be pretty gutting if we don't get the Punk Rollins match. But I guess, in a way, they've kind of lined up
bit of a dull ending to the title reign as well. We've missed a few opportunities recently to cash-ins. There was heavy...
Finally get your wish, though.
I didn't want it like this. There was heavy rumours that last week he was going to drop the title to Jinder and then have Drew McIntyre, have Damian Priest cash in on Jinder and have the title switch happen that way and completely shake up the title scene, which, with a week of hindsight, might have been the right choice for WWE to have done.
Could you get it when he says, I'm injured, and then Priest comes down and cashes in during his injury speech? Get big heat on Priest. I'm not sure if it would work or not.
I think you could do it in a really mocking way of Priest not even taking it seriously, just he can't do anything. I
like that.
And Priest is just you're gonna give me the title now.
You can candy.
I think that might be a good way of doing it, because that does draw.
Rather than having a vacant world title.
Yeah.
But then a world title tournament that culminates at WrestleMania.
It wouldn't be though, would it? They would do. The most likely thing they would do is the Royal Rumble winner gets the championship, and I don't want to see them do that.
I don't know if they would do that. Maybe they do. The tournament, the winner of the tournament is at the Elimination Chamber. The Elimination Chamber winner goes on to face.
But then that makes the Royal Rumble win less of a prize.
Yeah.
Because the other people are getting an opportunity to just win the title, and you'll outright, and you'll get an opportunity to challenge for the...
I guess it depends who they've got lined up to win the Rumble. If it's Cody, he's not going for the world title, he's going for Roman. Same as The Rock, dare I say.
It really puts a lot of work on WWE's creative department to try and make sense for this. Within a few days, it was Wednesday, Thursday last week that this was out. So at the time of listening, everyone's going to know what Seth has said. We're only speculating now because we unfortunately record on a Monday.
He could be fine. Like, he could come out and bluff us all and be like, "Wee, my leg's fine."
Yeah.
Who knows? It could just be like, obviously he got injured in that match. They could just play on that injury and work us completely and go, Seth's injured. He's got to prove his fitness by this time. Otherwise he has to vacate the title. Priest could come down and cash in. We could have a tournament. There's all sorts of possibilities coming off of it. And they could make it into a really good thing off of a really bad situation.
Yeah.
And hopefully Seth is fit for Mania, because he's had a really good year over the last calendar year since WrestleMania. He's obviously brought this title to fruition, and yeah, it would be a shame if he was to miss out on the big time.
I mean, WWE have oftentimes done well when their back is against the wall. Remember the SmackDown episode where NXT invaded because all of the SmackDown superstars were stuck on the runway in Saudi Arabia. They pulled out a great show, one of the best SmackDown in that kind of year, I would say. So title plans, the stories are probably up in the air, but we'll have a little bit of faith that WWE can pull this off. They've earned it a little bit in recent months.
Triple H has earned it over his booking. Sensible booker, if not anything else, and you sort of trust him to make the best decision. I briefly mentioned someone there who I think's got a really interesting path going into the Rumble.
Yeah.
And that's Drew McIntyre. I don't necessarily think he's going to win. He could. He is up there and he could win. And you could have some really good stories off of him winning.
Even more now. Things are a little bit more blurred.
But he's obviously sort of going off the rails, thinks the world's against him. And it's kind of like a very relatable character. Because you can see why he's sort of feeling this way, and it's kind of justified.
It did make me laugh a little bit the other week in his promo against CM Punk. One, Drew came out better than Punk in that promo.
I think that was a better promo than the Rollins.
Punk was a little, not a little bit off. I just feel like Drew was doing so well that he stood out more. But it made me laugh because Drew said, maybe I need to leave and come back and you'll cheer me. It's like, you did leave.
Yeah.
Like,
people cheered you when you came back.
You went off and you was Drew Galloway for a number of years, and you gained a load of muscle and grew your beard, and you didn't come back to so much to cheers because he came back as a heel, but he came back and was praised and went through to face Brock at WrestleMania. I mean, it wasn't as hot-shotted as CM Punk is, so his point does still kind of stay the same, but it was just kind of funny about him talking about leaving and coming back, and you're like, Drew, you left. What?
There's so many paths that he can go down on this Mania, because he's obviously had that altercation with Punk.
Yeah.
He's had an altercation with Cody.
He's had an altercation with everybody.
The thing that I'm worried about is Cody eliminates Drew. Drew comes back in and eliminates Cody. It's a trope that I've used so many times, and if that happens, oh man, it makes me scared that
if that happens
over the main event.
You've got no Cody, no. Who are you in that scenario envisioning going on to win? Is that
Brock Lesnar? No.
You know what? I hope he comes out at number 30. And someone eliminates him like to set up their feud. Someone eliminates him quick.
I think the two front runners are Cody and Punk. So if Cody doesn't win, Punk, and then you've obviously got the looming threat, if that's the right phrase, of The Rock hanging around, the shadow of The Rock over the whole event. It's
that should be the poster.
Yeah, just a shadow of an eyebrow.
Just like Bravo Ball in the clouds.
Yeah, like the bat signal. So I think if that does happen, then Punk wins. But again, does whatever the Seth news is affect that? Because does Punk go on to face Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a match I'd love to see. And
although it is almost an inevitability, there is still that slim margin of what happens in the Roman Reigns match at Royal Rumble. Like, we're pretty set that Roman is walking out with the championship, but there is always that 1 in a million WWE decides to do something completely unexpected.
Yeah, there is, like, especially with it being a fatal four-way.
Yeah, it's almost certainly not going to happen. but you can never fully rule it out, because there is always something going on behind the scenes that you might not know about, that this has to happen. They want to do Rock Rover, but they don't want it to be for the title. Okay, well, he's dropping the title at Royal Rumble, right? They're probably not going to make that decision. It would be probably a bad decision, but they could make that decision.
I just envisage a, what is it? Stack 'em, no, smash 'em, stack 'em, pin 'em.
Surely
Royal Rumble every year. I can just see.
Surely not against
LA Knight and AJ Styles fuck each other over because they've got this bickering thing going on. Randy goes for an RKO, scissor, spear, stack 'em up. It could happen. It could happen.
I don't know what I want from this Roman match. I really enjoyed the little build we've had to it. They did the kind of the cliche, well, two people are having a match, we're gonna stop the match, and then nobody won. Haha. Oh wait, no, now they both won.
Yeah, that was cool.
But they did it differently because this was a triple threat version. Instead of it being the normal, we're gonna turn it into triple threat. Now we've got a fatal four-way. I enjoyed the shield power bomb that they did Solo through the table. Randy has looked very strong in the build-up as well.
Not just his arms.
Yeah, he's been booked very well. Although it was very weird seeing him in shorts there.
Yeah,
find out this week. Must have been cold.
Just imagine him going around like the supermarket in his little trunks. Can't ever imagine him in any of attire.
Wrestlers just wear their wrestling attire in everyday life. Like that's a known fact.
Going to pick up his kids from school in his trunks.
Elbow
weird situations there. Yeah. What I like from the whole Bloodline story is I really like the Nick Aldis character, and I like the gradual beef that then the Bloodline and the authority figure SmackDown are having.
He's actually got some balls to stand up to Roman, which no one really.
Maybe he's the one to take the title.
Maybe.
He was the NWA champion.
No one stood up to Roman, and it always kind of bugs me a little bit when they do this. Well, this wrestler is like bigger than the entire company. Like he is in charge of everything. It's like he's definitely not. Like, and almost everybody watching the show understands that Roman isn't in charge.
Yeah.
But they always put it like Roman's booking his matches. Oh, I'm just going to decide not to turn up. And I like that they've had Nick Aldis being like, well, if you don't turn up, you're going to vacate the title because you're not here to sign the contract.
It does feel like we're coming towards the end of this Reigns reign now. Really bad choice of words there. But he feels the weakest that he's felt, for me personally, in this whole reign. Like on SmackDown, we had the bit where they're in the dressing room and Solo Sikoa just walked forward and he looked scared of Solo. And then Solo went, oh, I'm going to sort it, this is my mess. But it looked like he was scared that Solo was going to step up to him. Yeah. We've got the authority figure pushing back on him. And he just doesn't feel like he's got quite the aura that he had before, where he was completely unbeatable.
Before it's all over, I do still want to see like Solo turn on Roman before this is done and dusted.
I think we're finally gonna get Roman losing the titles at Mania, and then the Bloodline finally implode on it, and then you get the Solo feud.
I think a good way to do it, if the Rock Roman match is happening, is have Solo turn on both of them.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, I'm not with.
He doesn't need the faction.
I'm not with The Rock. Like, maybe Roman gets him to attack The Rock. He doesn't really want to do it, but he does it, and it's like, you know what? I'm sick of you boxing me out. And then he attacks Roman. He's like, I'm not with either of you. Like, you figure this out by yourself. Alright, I'm done.
He's going to be the breakout star from this. I think it's an obvious statement to say, but just is so cool.
It's done wonders for everyone involved. Yeah. It remade a star of Sami Zayn.
Mm-hmm.
Roman is the best he's been when he is there.
Elevated Kevin Owens as well.
Re-elevated Kevin Owens. The Usos had some of their best work. Jay is obviously.
He's like a main event stuff.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that?
Jimmy's kind of left picking up the pieces of the story a little bit, but I think he's still got a strong singles position. Sure. After then, Solo's gonna do really well. everyone that has been touched, with the exception of Cody. It didn't really help Cody anymore, but Cody was already at the top. You couldn't elevate him any further. Even if he'd won the title, I don't think it would have elevated him anymore. He's still the guy. WWE just today announced he's going to be the cover star of their game.
He's the face.
Yeah, he is he's the top face.
I think coming back to the Rumble, are we inevitably going to get the Usos face off in the Rumble?
Hopefully.
That's presuming that they're actually in the match.
Hopefully, if we do.
It'll be cool.
They've been a little less announcement heavy on who's going to be in the Rumble this year, which is good.
It is good.
Do like to have one or two surprises.
Yeah. When you know every single one, they got that graphic, it takes it away from it, but I don't think they've really announced many. They've obviously had the people going up declared, but
you only need a couple of announcements. Again, they could announce like 50 people for 2 Rumbles tonight, but as long as there's a couple of potential surprises.
I think we might see Bron Breakker.
Yeah, some NXT calls up.
I think we'll probably see Brock Lesnar returning. It's a good place to bring him back.
Could have Andrade?
Yeah. Sasha Banks coming back?
Probably not, but it is a maybe.
Look, you never know after Punk, what we said on the last podcast.
There's a reasonable chance of Jade Cargill making her debut.
That'll be cool.
Are there any... Ty Dillinger is a potential return. Zack Ryder or Matt Cardona is a potential.
Yeah.
Trying to think on the women, there is a couple of women that WWE have been linked to from Japan.
Oh yeah, there's one called Camille as well.
Yeah,
Camille.
So there's a few of those, although they're not as big as because obviously I don't really know who they are, but they would draw quite a bit of attention and can build. Yeah. So there is a big chunk of star power that you could bring in that hasn't been announced. So hopefully we do get a couple. We've missed that for a couple of years. We don't need a whole lot of legends returning, although 1 or 2 wouldn't go amiss.
Yeah.
Like,
it's nice to have the 1 or 2, like you say, like Booker T coming off the commentator's test.
Yeah.
That's always a fun one.
I wanted to have Wade Barrett do it.
Wade Barrett would be awesome.
I want him to get up from the commentator's desk, get in the ring, get eliminated quick, and go back to the commentator's desk, be like, well, that didn't work.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like he's got the comedy ability to pull that off.
It's an easy spot, an easy joke to make, and just maybe it's too easy for WWE, but low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about some of the men's stories. What about the women's stories in building? Obviously, the main one we've had going is the Damage Control fracturing. Bayley saying she's going to win. She's going to go and take the title off of Rhea. Kabuki Warriors have teased going for the tag title.
They're going for it on SmackDown.
Is it actually confirmed?
Yeah, they've got the match on SmackDown this week before the Rumble. They presume that they win the titles.
That would make
and I think you've got 2 ways. You've obviously got Bayley winning the Rumble, and then potentially an Evolution situation where they turn on Bayley. Or you could have Bayley losing the match just on her own accord, them sort of seeing her as the weak link and she's out, or they could cost her, I guess. I think all of those situations are pretty evenly balanced, and that's kind of the beauty going into this.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of thoughts about people mentioning Sasha Banks returning to help out, and it's like that only works if they're then going for the tag titles, which would kind of be ironic.
Yeah, that wouldn't be great, would it?
Like,
could you have a situation where...
And well, the other problem is there's 4 people on... If Bayley leaves, there's 4 people on Damage Control. Don't know if Kota Kai is ready to come back, if she's still on the shelf. I think it's a kind of one of those indefinite on the shelf. You don't know when she's going to be able to come back, which means Bayley needs 2 friends to help out, which again makes it more of an ironic situation because the other person that Bayley knows who could come back is Naomi.
Yeah.
And then you're in a situation where one of them has to go for the world title and the other two has to go for the tag titles.
I personally don't think...
And I cannot see a situation where WWE go to Sasha Banks now and go, right, we've got this great idea when you come back. You challenge for the women's tag titles at WrestleMania.
Imagine. It would be really funny. Yeah.
If they've convinced them of it, it's somehow such an amazing bit of storytelling. But at the same time, I do not see that being a good sell for
if Triple H has convinced them to do that, they need to get Triple H over to fucking Ukraine and Russia and get him to peace tour, go for that.
Yeah.
Honestly. I just had the thought going to my head, what if you have a returning Sasha Banks, cost Bayley the match, eliminate Bayley, and then damage control turn on Bayley, and then Sasha Banks is just there like, well.
So at the end of the story, Bayley's got nobody.
Oh, yeah. Sasha and Bayley last two.
Sasha presumably wins. She's going on to face, and Bayley's left to kind of pick up the pieces of it. I mean, you could make a good sort. I don't know where Bayley goes from there, and I do kind of want to see Bayley Io.
Bayley Io would be awesome. It would be cool, and you don't need her win the Rumble for that.
The only thing that could make a Bayley face turn going for the world title better is if the match was in the UK, but you can't have everything. No. But Philadelphia need to wash up on some Bayley UK crowd.
She's so overdue a face turn.
Yeah,
the Bayley body's coming back. I don't know if she'd go back to the hugger character, but even just face Bayley with some sort of iteration would be amazing.
Over on Raw, we've got a few stories budding for Rhea Ripley. One of them is for Nia Jax, which I think is a smart decision by WWE. The crowd do not like Nia Jax, but Rhea has a big match coming up before WrestleMania. She has a hometown in quotes match in Australia,
as much as Drew McIntyre fighting in Wales is a hometown match.
So Rhea versus Nia in Australia makes the most sense because Rhea's going to get cheered.
Nia is a believable threat.
Yeah, it is
she's just beaten Becky Lynch.
It's a big match, but doesn't waste a potential WrestleMania main event style match.
Yeah,
which presumably is going to be the bigger star-powered match.
Yeah, I think the match for Rhea at Mania is Becky Lynch. They've kept them away from each other so far, and now they're just starting to drip feed that in with this story.
Yeah,
I think Becky is, in my head, the favourite to win the Rumble. Go on to face Rhea.
Yeah,
personally, which would be really cool. It'll be a cool match. Becky seems to be getting that star power back a little bit, sort of floating around, and was like, but yeah, I think it'll be an awesome match, that one.
There's a lot of potential match because that's obviously the biggest one, but you've got Bianca Belair.
Yeah, Bianca.
Which is always, they've done it a few times, but it's always a good match. Bianca needs a big match. She was rumoured to be facing Charlotte, but obviously that's fallen through.
But Charlotte Flair return. She's been on a treadmill.
I mean, John Cena pulled off a magic return from injury, which
it's an ask.
I don't think I really realised how crazy a return that was.
Isn't it?
But yeah.
But again, that wasn't a knee injury, was it?
Elbow, I think.
Yeah. I feel like he can work around an elbow.
He was back like he was fine.
Yeah, he was.
He was. And he was meant to be out for like he was meant to be missing WrestleMania. He came back like 3 months early.
Yeah. Pretty nice, isn't it? I feel like if there's any person in the world that could do it, Charlotte Flair would be it. She's just freakish in the most complimentary possible way. She's just a freak.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's that kind of excitement that is why I like Royal Rumble, because there's a few ideas you can float about potential matches, but realistically, a week out, I still don't know what my predictions are going to be.
No. Yeah, you have like
even without even without the Seth Rollins spanner in the works, like I'm not sure which way they're going to go.
And then do we get a complete cove? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? It's so hard to tell. Does Solo Sikoa win? Does The Rock come back? Who knows? It does feel like one of the most open ones in a little while.
Yeah.
Like last year, you thought Rhea's winning. Rhea winning? I was thinking, Rhea. Yeah, she did, didn't she?
Yeah. Because she's held the title since winning it.
Could Gunther win?
Yeah.
This year.
Have we seen Gunther in a little while?
He came back last week on Raw.
Yes.
But he's been gone for a little while. But, like, he's furious. Went for the pun. But,
I don't think that's the right word. No, that's the Harry Potter curse.
Hey Siri, what does imperious mean? Arrogant and domineering. Imperious demands.
Oh, it is the right word.
A bit of that.
I feel like an idiot.
Hey,
I'm pretty sure that's one of the curses in Harry Potter.
Maybe it is, but I got my thesaurus correct. So yeah, Gunther could win. There are a lot of different ones that could happen, and it does feel open. I like.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about? Just looking back into past years' Royal Rumbles, looked a bit on this year's Royal Rumble and what's to come. Any favourite moments that stick out in your mind?
Well, I was thinking about this earlier. WWE put out their top 12 or top 15 or something, top returns, top most surprising returns, and Edge returning in 2020 is on the list. It is surprisingly low on the list. We'll get into that in a second, but that is one of my, even though the camera kind of messed it up a little bit, but
rewrite history now though.
It was such a heartwarming moment after having watched him announce his retirement, and he'd been here, there, and there. I've watched him pop up on TV shows and stuff, and then him to come back and be like, "Holy shit, Edge is back!" So that was it for me, especially in history. Going all the way back, we've talked about it in previous years, but Batista, John Cena, 2005, will never.
Yeah, I think we've discussed that one before. It wasn't
never stop.
I have to agree with you. I think Edge was the biggest surprise ever. It's got to be, because no one expected him to come back at all.
Well, the only thing I don't want to give WWE the benefit of the doubt, because it is pretty likely that they've listed it so low because he's now in AEW. Like, it's almost certainly why they've done it. But the slither of the benefit of the doubt I'm going to give them is that it did kind of get leaked beforehand.
Did it? I can't remember.
There was so much online about that Edge was coming back.
I feel like there's always rumours though.
Maybe I'm misremembering, but it did seem like that. The top two WWE did give was John Cena 2008 and AJ Styles 2016.
Another one where they fucked up the camera completely.
Yeah.
It was just ridiculous. I think they had Roman Reigns on the screen, his reaction, and you're like, okay, he's surprised. Who is it though? Come on.
Kevin Dunn has left.
Thank God he's finally gone. Kevin gone.
But I feel like those three would be the top three biggest surprise returns.
Yeah.
Well, I say returns. AJ Styles was it technically a return? Had he maybe had a match on like Velocity in like 2000?
I think against Daniel Bryan as well. I'm going to test your knowledge.
Okay.
Let's go.
My knowledge is terrible. So
let's go. I'm going to see how far back in the years you can get from the Royal Rumble winners.
I don't. We've pretty much
2023.
Cody Rhodes.
In the men's, who won the women's?
Rhea Ripley.
No, my memory's gone. 2022.
Wow. Who won? No, who won?
Let's try and figure it out between us. Who won the men's one? So who fought at WrestleMania that year? Was that Brock? Did Brock win that one?
Yes. And then we had Brock. Brock was already champion. Did Brock win Royal Rumble anyway? See, this is the problem. My memory.
He did. He entered it with the championship. And then... No, that was 2020, wasn't it? When he was throwing everyone else out.
Yeah, that was when Drew beat him.
Yeah.
The Drew 2020.
Yeah, that's work. Weird ways.
Edge 21. We had Edge,
that
Brian, Roman.
That was the Stackham thingy.
Yeah, and then Brock 22. We'll say with confidence.
We're going to have to check.
Brock in 2022.
Brock Lesnar. And can you guess the woman? I remember it now because it was extremely disappointed. Think female Brock Lesnar.
Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey. Yeah.
The female Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. I remember being insanely disappointed.
2021 is Charlotte Flair? Or was that 2020?
It's Bianca Belair, isn't it?
Maybe, yeah.
I think Bianca Belair wins the 2021.
You've got it up. I'm going to try and guess. 2020 then is Charlotte Flair.
Let me just search 2021.
I thought you had a list. I thought this is wonderful audio for everybody.
Yeah. So you want to know 2020?
Yes.
Who do you think it is?
Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair. Well, that was obviously the one that Drew McIntyre won the men's, and 2020 was in fact Charlotte Flair. 2021 was Bianca Belair. 2019. Now I've got the list here. Let me know if you want a clue. I think the best way to figure.
Becky?
Yeah. The best way to figure out is think WrestleMania.
Yeah. Becky does the triple threat.
Yeah.
And that means it is Seth? For men?
In the men's. One moment, please, caller. Yes.
Okay. 2018.
Hang on.
Do they even have Women's Royal Rumble in 2018? Let's do the men.
Yeah, they must have.
It's someone to face Brock 2018, surely. Is that Roman?
In 2018?
Yeah.
I'll find a good list.
I think we should stop at 2018 because it's taking a long time to check.
Yeah, it really is. Oh, hang on. Oh, no. You're going to have some editing to do on this podcast.
Do you reckon I can license the countdown theme?
Maybe. 2018 Royal Rumble winner. Oh, wow, that's bad. Shinsuke Nakamura and Asuka.
Oh, I had no recollection of that.
Remember, because that was the one when
winning makes sense.
Yeah, and then she lost to Charlotte, and then Shinsuke is when he turned heel and kicked AJ in the dick.
Oh, yeah, 28, yeah. Let's stop there.
It seemed like such a good concept in my head, but...
If you'd had a full list...
if my knowledge was as good as I hoped it would be.
My wrestling knowledge is awful.
I got to 2021 and forgot everything.
I started forgetting what happened last week.
You forgot Gunther returned.
I did forget Gunther returned. I only watched SmackDown yesterday, and I was trying to remember bits that I forgot that they announced Kabuki Warriors challenging for the tag titles.
It's going to be a good match.
It will be.
Pray that they win it and take the championships of those other two, because they're beyond cringeworthy. They just like to party. They come out with these big foam guns. What?
I thought the foam guns looked sort of cool for a second, and I was like,
they're so unlikable.
They look like flamethrowers for a second. I was like, what the hell? I was like, oh no, they're not flamethrowers.
Ah, they're so unlikable. I want the heels to win, and I want them to beat them. Beat them.
Do you think we're going to soon have the tag titles, men's tag titles, split, and actually have to? Because I mentioned this to you the other day, that there is now a lot of trios in WWE, and a few of them would look good with the tag portion of that trio with titles. You've got, I can't remember their new names, but the Hurt Business.
Yeah.
They're still the Hurt Business.
The New Testament as well.
Yeah.
Karrion Kross is one.
Karrion Kross.
Arium. Got New Day are still there.
Yeah.
AOP.
With the titles. All of these teams would look good to have the tag team portion champion with the title. Yeah.
Tyler Bate and now Pete Dunne, who is back. That was pretty cool. Yeah, there are a lot. Who actually are the tag champions at the minute? Is it Judgment Day?
I'm pretty sure it's Judgment Day,
but I've lost so much interest in it. Like it has just become stale.
I'm enjoying the Judgment Day bit, but their role in it has
So it's and Priest.
Yeah, because I much prefer the story with R-Truth and Tom and Nick Mysterio.
Oh, Nick Mysterio. That is pretty inspired, isn't it? Good old R-Truth. How can anyone hate R-Truth?
That man is a comedy goldmine. Like,
yeah.
Everything he does, he just has the performance to pull it off. Like, his whole, my bad.
What a life that guy's had, because he started off like rapping with Tupac and Eazy-E, and then he's transitioned into a like 20-30 year career as a wrestler.
Yeah.
And he's still as good as he was 20 years ago.
It is also mad that he's in his 50s.
Yeah.
Like, if you told me he was like late 30s, I'd go, yeah, of course he is.
I feel like he could make millions just sharing his skincare routine.
Yeah.
Because he looks like our age. We look worse than him.
Yeah.
We look worse than that guy. Fair play to him.
He's become one of my favourite parts of Raw very quickly after returning.
Yeah. But his return, is there an argument at the minute that his return is more successful than CM Punk's? Both returned on the same night.
Based on the fact that they've kept Punk off TV a little bit, yeah, at the minute, yes.
Breaking news, that's the headline.
Yeah, headline, R-Truth's return bigger than CM Punk's. We need to edit our video we put out yesterday.
Triple H wasn't lying when he said that in that press conference.
I think it's very different returns because obviously Punk has returned to be like a headline attraction, and R-Truth has returned to be your story filler kind of character, which is what he does best.
Yeah.
And he's running with that so well.
But
it has legs. He can't. If we're still sat here next WrestleMania, we're probably not going to be talking about how R-Truth's year-long comedic run with the Judgment Day has gone.
No.
But we could be talking about the great matches Punk has had over here. We could also be talking about that Punk got injured on his first match back. Who knows?
Could talk that Punk imploded. Maybe R-Truth implodes. Maybe surprise everyone. He punches. Who can I think of that's similar to Jungle Boy backstage in WWE?
He's going to punch Dominic for real.
Dominic, yeah.
There we go.
Does he have a spot in the Royal Rumble?
R-Truth.
He did that thing where, he brought out a ladder. Thought it was a ladder match.
I don't know. There's surely got to be a comedic spot you can perform with him, but I'm not sure what it would be.
No, I don't know. We'll leave that to
the
professionals.
There's a reason we're sat here reacting to wrestling and not writing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've covered the Royal Rumble pretty comprehensively. We're rambling a little bit.
We are rambling a little bit at the end. We tried to play a guessing game, which probably not worked very well. It might not even have made the cut.
I hope it doesn't. Yeah. It was well intended and poorly executed.
Tell you what, if it didn't make the cut in the episode, I'll tag it on at the end here so you can listen to us fail at trying to guess the winners of Royal Rumble matches past. There we go. It was so bad I couldn't even think of what it was.
That's how bad the game was. I apologise.
We'll do our official predictions later in the week. They'll be posted on our socials. As always with the Royal Rumble, we throw in some extras, trying to guess who's coming out first, who's coming out last, any surprises, and eventual winners. We won't do points for the other matches, but we also try and predict them. Otherwise, we'll end up with like someone over like 20 points ahead, and that might be an insurmountable odds. We still do eventually have to get to your punishment.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that before Benidorm.
You got to go really orange then. You got to.
Yeah. I'm going to go like Benidorm resident.
Have you had any thoughts about a punishment for 2024?
I don't know really. There's a few that are floating around in my head. Have you got any that stand out?
I'd had a couple of ideas, but I don't know how well they'll work. There was one of them I saw a YouTuber doing, inspired it, a YouTuber named Doug. He did I'll have what he's having food challenge, which obviously raises problems with being a veggie, but basically you have to go to a drive-through and you just order exactly what the person in front of you had, and then you have to eat that food. But I thought something like having a random food kind of challenge could be fun.
Yeah,
I've got an idea to generate some things. If you're listening to this and you have an idea, for a punishment for one of us to do at the end of the year, send us a message. If we like your idea, we'll send you a Figure Forecast t-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm sure that can't backfire anywhere when someone like in Australia sends it and I have to post it to them. But if you can come up with a good idea for a punishment for a YouTube video, we'll send the winner a Figure Forecast t-shirt.
You can even get one with my face on if you want. Completely up to you. You choose the design.
That, I think, leads us perfectly into our socials.
Yeah, just before we say goodbye, one more surprise entrant, maybe surprise question, actually. And that is, will you be my best man?
Ooh, that is a big surprise for the end of the podcast episode. Yes, of course I will.
Nice one. Thank you very much. I thought I'd add it into the Royal Rumble episode. I wasn't sure where to say it. I was like, do you make a big thing about it or what? And I was like, what do we do together that we like doing together? And wrestling, recording the podcast. But yeah.
I don't know how to wrap this up now.
Bit awkward, I guess, in a way. But I'll wrap it up if you want.
Well, I suppose all we've got to do is these socials. So I can add those in later. And
thank you for listening, everyone. Take care. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening. If you'd like to keep up to date with all things Figure Forecast, you can follow us on Twitter or X at Figure4UK, on Threads and Instagram at The Figure Forecast, and on Facebook by searching The Figure Forecast.